Hi all, welcome to the interview questions front end everyday series and with a vision to make each day better with a small step. So today we will be seeing question 22. Very happy to share with you question 22. So the question is, what is a constructor in JavaScript, and does JavaScript has a constructor? This is the question, right? Before answer, just understanding the answer, I just want you to understand in Java or any native languages, what is a constructor? We have in most of the native languages, right? We have a class, right? So in that class, we have a constructor. This constructor is responsible for creating the object in the class, right? This is how we used to do it in Java, right? We have this is called as a constructor. The ABC will be called as a constructor, right? Because this is responsible for creating the object, right? And we put a new operator and ABC, and that creates an object out of this constructor, whatever you're told. Maybe we say this dot A equal to 10, this dot B equal to 5. So these are all instance variables for that class, right? So this is about Java and other native language. In case of JavaScript, we don't have a class, right? Then why this constructor is required? And does it have a constructor in JavaScript? Yes, in JavaScript there is a constructor. So in case of JavaScript, you know what is the object in JavaScript? It is just key value pass. So that object can be also be created out of a function. That function is called as a constructor function in JavaScript. Any function which creates a object in JavaScript is called as a constructor function. So, and let me show you. Let me create a simple function here. Okay. So function. Okay. And inside the function, I will have two instance variables, right? A of 10, B of 20, something, right? Let us make it simple. And let me assign it to a variable. And this one point you have to remember in this case, right? Yes, a function which is used for creating an object, okay, we capitalize. This is a normal convention in JavaScript. The function which is used for creating an object, which is called as a constructor function, we capitalize. This is a normal convention. It is not like if you keep it as lowercase, will it fail? No, it is not functionality. It is just a convention to differentiate with normal functions. Okay. Now, how to create an object using this function? In JavaScript also, we have a new operator which we can use for creating an object. Okay. If you do it like this, it will return an object out of this function. Other thing you have to remember is whenever you create a new operator and call this function, this operator will be a empty object. I will also show you this. This operator will be a empty object. Okay. Okay. And whatever you do after this statement, it will be like adding the variables, adding a and b inside that empty object. So remember, whenever you call a function with new operator, that functions this will be a empty object, and over that empty object you can add whatever you want. add whatever variables you want. Okay, instance variables in this case. Okay, let me try to do this and show you. Okay, before doing that, I just want you to understand what is the difference between the object created normally we used to do and through a constructor function. Is there any difference? So let me I'm just creating an object here, object 1, and let me initialize it directly as a key value pass. Now let me create it using this function. Okay, let me have it as object 2, right? So you can see here this operator is a empty object. That's what it gets printed. Now let's try to print object 2. So what is the value? It is the same object. When you do it as key value pass directly, it just is another way of creating the same object. There is no difference between the object 1 you created directly using the flower braces and you created through a function. It gives the same, it is the same object. But now we are creating using a function which is called as a constructor function. Okay. And the other one thing I want you to understand is likewise here, likewise in native languages, the constructor function can also have arguments like this. Okay. Can also have arguments like this. And while calling that function with new ABC, you can pass the value to that argument. Okay. This will also work. Okay. I can show you this. Maybe object 3. Object 3, if you print, it will be the same thing. But now instead of having empty arguments, now I am passing two arguments, a comma b. Okay. Hope you understood this. So just be very clear, JavaScript has a constructor. Okay. In case of JavaScript, constructor is just a function which creates the object. Okay. It is a function which creates an object instead of native languages where we have this constructor function inside a class. In case of JavaScript, it is a simple function which is used for creating an object using that new operator. I hope you understood. Thank you. Have a nice day.